Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to find your calories and macros depending on your goals. So, the first thing we need to establish when finding out what our goals are is whether we want to gain weight or whether we want to lose weight. So, the first thing that we need is maintenance calories. So, what is your maintenance calories? Basically, maintenance calories is the amount of calories you need to take in to stay at your current body weight. We find our maintenance calories by if we start tracking what we eat while tracking our weight, and when we find what amount of calories keeps us at a certain weight. That is then our maintenance, and for today's video we're going to call that N. So now, when either going into a gaining phase or a weight loss phase, you're either going to, in a gaining phase, add on extra calories, or in a weight loss phase, we're going to remove calories. So, talking about a gaining phase is we want to go into a calorie surplus. So what that means is we're taking in more energy than we are expending. And it is the inverse for our weight loss phase. We are trying to take in less calories than we are expending, thus ending up in a calorie deficit. So decide which sort of phase you want to go into, and then add in or subtract an amount of calories that will make you either gain weight slow and steady or lose weight slow and steady. I did talk a bit about in my last video about aggressive dieting, but we're not going to go into that too much today. We're going to keep it very basic. So once you found out which phase you're going to go into and how many calories you're going to add or subtract, we then need to worry about our macronutrients. So if a calorie is a unit of energy, a calorie can be broken down into 3 macronutrients, and that's going to be proteins, fats, and carbs. The first one we're going to focus on is protein. So in a gaining phase, a lot of people focused on getting in mass amounts of protein in the gaining phase, but it is not exactly needed. Why is that? It's because you're in a calorie surplus. Your body has more fuel than it actually requires. So there's going to be no chance of us losing muscle mass while we're in a gaining phase because we're not starving our body like we are in a weight loss phase. So generally what I use with people is between 1 to 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. Then, when we're in a weight loss phase, we've got to think about retaining lean muscle mass. So what we're going to do in a gaining phase is we're going to take in a minimum of 2 grams, if not maybe slightly higher than 2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. And the reason why our protein is higher, like as I said, we are starving our body. We are taking in less energy than we're expending, so we want to make it as little possible chance that we will lose our precious muscle mass. Then we go into our fats. With a gaining phase, we obviously have higher calories. So with that, we can kind of expend more of those calories on fats. So I recommend a range between 0.8 to 1.2 grams of fat per kilo of body weight. And it's going to be the opposite in the weight loss phase. If you don't know, fat is an extremely calorie-dense micronutrient. What I mean by a calorie-dense micronutrient is it has a higher calorie value per gram than proteins or carbs. So what we have in proteins and carbs is per gram they are equal to 4 calories, whereas fats per gram is equal to 9 calories. So when you're in a weight loss phase, you want to reduce that fat right down. Why? Because we want to keep our food volume as big as possible. So that means if we can take away as much fat as possible, we can have a lot more carbs and protein in order to make the food that we eat larger, which will then help with satiation, satiety, and as well as you'll just be able to train better because you have a higher amount of carbs than if you kept a higher amount of fat. In the gaining phase, we have a lot more calories to work with, so we can have a larger fat amount. So, carbs. How are we going to find our carbs? Well, our carbs is basically going to make up the remainder of our calories. So, I've done a small little macros for an imaginary person. For this video, we'll call him Gar. So, Gar's body weight is currently 80 kilos and we found that he maintains at 2,500. So, we're going to put him into a surplus. We're going to put him into a 500 calorie surplus to be exact. So, what we're going to do is first we got to work out his protein. So, I'm just going to hit smack bang in the middle here and we're going to go with 1.5 grams per kilo of body weight. So we multiply 1.5 by 80, which will then equal 120 grams of protein. So that's going to be Gar's protein goals every day. Then we'll calculate out our fats. So again, just like the protein, I hit smack bang in the middle, so we'll go the same for the fats. So we're going to go 1 gram of fat per kilo of body weight. So that's going to equal to 1 by 80, which is 80. So then, we've got to work out how many calories our fats and proteins create. So, I multiplied 120 by 4, 120 grams of protein by 4, as there's 4 calories in 1 gram of protein. I then added 80 grams of carbs by 9, as I stated before, there is 9 calories per gram of fat, which then came to 480 calories from protein and 720 calories from fats. So our total calories from fats and proteins is 1,200. So now we have to find our remaining calories. So we take our calorie goal of 3,000 and we subtract 1,200 from it. We then end up with 1,800. So it's going to be 1,800 calories from carbs. So then to find out how many grams of carbs we're going to take in, we're going to take our 1,800 calories divided by 4 and that will equal out to 450 grams of carbohydrates. This is a very straightforward way to find out your calories and macros. You can get a little bit more complex with it, but this will work for most people. And even then, I find that with a lot of people, all I really ask them to track is their calories and their protein and allow fats and carbs to fall where they naturally are. But if you want to give yourself that extra edge, now you know how to calculate out your fats and your carbs. So, that's all today, folks.